Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a test for you, and it is absolutely the ultimate test to check your commitment to change that you say that you want. And I am gathering that with a message like today. This is kind of going to weed out those people who say they want change, but they actually don't really want it at the deepest level. They're not willing to do what it takes to make an empowered change, versus the people who are absolutely committed and maybe they just don't have the tools or whatever it is, but they're absolutely committed. And I'm going to share that with you guys in a moment. But first I want to start by asking you, whether you actually really want change. Because a lot of us, whether we've been that person at some point in our lives, we've been that person that we all look to and say, oh, I wish they would stop complaining about that same old challenge, that same old thing, and actually do something about it, right? But when we're trapped in it ourselves, it's a lot harder to see, right? We can tend to just get caught up in complaining about something for a period of time until it doesn't feel as painful anymore, so that we can kind of just let that dissipate or go and distract ourselves somewhere. And then we forget about it until the pain threshold comes back and hits our threshold again. And then we start complaining about that same thing. But at some point, we really actually have to acknowledge that we're running a certain pattern. And anybody who is close to me at this stage, whether you are a client, whether we work together on some level, or you're somebody that I'm in some form of relationship with in my life, you already know this about me, which is that I'm never going to just allow you to stay stuck in that. And that's really this ultimate test that I wanted to share with you guys today, because the ultimate test to check your commitment to your ability or desire for change is your ability to let go and give up your victim story. You may or may not have heard me say this before, but when we get into some sort of conflict or resentment in our relationships, we are two or more people fighting over who has the bigger victim story. And that doesn't get us anywhere. We get to a point where we're just trying to make sure that the other person learns that they are wrong and we are right. And we just get hyper-focused on how that other person needs to shift and change. And we don't look at what our own story is. And we're always trying to handball all the work to some outsourced sort of external person, either, that person that we're in conflict with, or, maybe a coach, or maybe a program, or whatever it is. We're handballing the responsibility, thinking that if we can just express it over here or make our point known over here, that magically somebody else around us is going to fix that and give us the solution and do all the work for us. And at the end of the day, if we notice that we're in this constant pattern of having the same problem and kind of going through this cycle of feeling okay about it and then feeling like really bad about it and feeling okay and feeling really bad, we've got to say enough is enough. I'm willing to break this cycle. And the way you will know that you're actually committed to change is in your ability to say, you know what? I'm not going to be the victim here. I'm not going to handball the responsibility to anybody else. How can I empower myself here? And so if you, connect with me on this level, then I'm all about, feeling through your entire emotional experience, whether it takes you an hour, a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. But at some point, you need to get to that place where you've felt through and really moved through the emotion. And there's actually science behind it, that an emotion, if you really fully allow it to express itself and without judgment, we're just feeling through it, whatever you're experiencing, it takes 8 minutes. All right. So, what keeps us trapped in our victim stories and our emotional states and recycling old past patterns is that we don't actually allow ourselves to fully get through to the end of that and then find a solution. We get sort of trapped in, that endorphin inducing cycle, which Tony Robbins refers to as the crazy 8, where we get kind of like sad and depressed, and then we're like loop over here, and then we're angry and defiant, and then we get sad and depressed and regretful and whatever, and then we go angry, you know, and it's just this cycle that we never get ourselves out of because we're not fully feeling through the whole entire emotional state and then having a way forward, an empowering way forward. What are you going to do about it? After you've complained about it, what are you actually going to do? What's the solution? Paint me a new picture of where you want to get to. How do you want things to change? Get clear, get clarity, get moving in that direction. But what most people do, they just want to complain about it, find somebody who can give them the understanding that they're after, so they can feel okay about it. They've got somebody validating them, so it's validating them to not have to do the work, and that other person's the problem. And then they just feel validated enough to not take any action, to go and just distract themselves in life, not get any clarity over the future forward, not feel like they have to put any work in, and then they find themselves in these same old patterns. And it gets super tiring for anybody who cares about them, because it's just the same old, same old. And what I want this message to be is not only for you personally to empower yourself to say enough is enough. I'm going to drop this victim story. If I know that I'm in any sort of conflict with anybody else, we're fighting over who has the bigger victim story. I'm deciding no more victim. I'm going to empower myself. I'm going to feel through and allow myself to, with zero judgment, to feel fully through this emotional experience. I am then going to get to a position where I'm going to paint a picture of a compelling future of where I want to get to. What would it look like? So that I can know that how I can be successful, where I can move toward to feel a sense of progress and empowerment. And then I'm going to take action and do something about moving the needle forward in that dynamic, right? And then so once we can do that, you know, that is where we actually break old patterns and we can actually get on with living our lives fully and from a truly empowered place. And if you're somebody in another person's life and you're hearing them come to you all the time with the same old story, I challenge you to stop validating them over the same old stuff. You know, call them out. You know, people get so confused with the concept of love. They think that love is all support, no challenge. It's all pleasure and it's all validation and it's all yes, okay, whatever you feel, whatever you think, right? But that's only one side, and we all need support in our lives. That's part of what love is. But the other side often gets thrown out the window, and the other side is the part that we need in conjunction with the support, which is the challenge, which is the, hey, now that you've felt through this, you know, hey, I've heard this story many times. How can I help and support you to break this pattern so you don't have to keep coming back to that? Where would you like to go? What would it look like if you could have it all your way? What have you got to actually be grateful for? What is the lesson that you're being presented the opportunity of learning right now? You know, all of these different things to challenge somebody to wake up to their greatness and stop wasting their time, energy, and effort in the past and in these victim stories that just drain them emotionally and set them on the path of distractions that we never feel truly fulfilled by. You know, it's like momentary pleasure to avoid a lifetime of pain versus taking an empowered stance, which gives you an empowered state of being, where every challenge that you're faced with is another inevitable challenge, which gives you an opportunity to grow to a higher height of your empowerment and feel a sense of real fulfillment and pride within yourself that you can do it, you can overcome this stuff, and they're necessary stepping stones, like I'm always saying, to get to a new height of your potential. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit passionate about this subject today, because nothing frustrates me more than watching amazing human beings not live into the truth of who they really are, because they don't they stay stuck in these old stories of the past and, handball that responsibility of their life into the arms of other people who they cannot control, and then they just complain about it and ruin the rest of the relationships that they have going on in their lives. Because at the end of the day, nobody really wants to have constant negativity and constant, repetition of the same old stuff. We want to feel empowered, and we want the people around us to feel empowered as well. And so that is why we must give them support and validation for their emotional experience, but also at some point we need to call them out if they're staying stuck there, and they're meeting their needs unresourcefully and disempoweringly in that position. And love is actually being able to have the courage to not be liked in the moment, so that you can actually support this person to get breaking free of their pain and their own creating suffering, and actually move in the direction of what would truly be empowering and fulfilling for them. So that really is my message for you guys today. I definitely want to check in with you guys. Let me know if you've got any questions or comments or feedback for me. Maybe you're currently stuck in one of these disempowering patterns, or maybe you've just had the experience of it. You want to share that with everybody, or maybe there's somebody in your life right now who you feel could really use this message to maybe just wake them up to the beauty and the greatness that you see within them, and you see them selling themselves short of. So definitely share this message with them if there is somebody that you know could benefit. Let me check in. So I've also just above put a link to my calendar. As you guys might have known, I've opened up a few extra little spots in my calendar because I absolutely love getting to meet you guys and connect with you guys and help you break through any of your limitations, anything that's getting in the way of you living a richly fulfilling and empowered life that you know that you're capable of. So anything that's getting in your way, I want to help you break through that, and so that you can stop staying stuck in the pain of the past and actually find some meaning and something in your future that compels you, excites you, energizes you, and allows you to tap into and stop that little voice that says you got much more to live into. Stop wasting your time, because you'll be stopping wasting your time already. So if that interests you, then definitely click on the link above and select a time, and I cannot wait to meet you. And I've got Jeremy and Ravi and Hassani and Rose. Can't wait to see you guys soon. And Anthony and Gamel and Roxana. Can't wait to see you soon either. And James is here, and Kidamet and Victor and Lizzie and Philippe and Eric and Sergio. Hi Eric, nice to see you back. And Ali, hello my teacher, I like that. I love having you here. And Eduardo and Alan and Winai and Manu and Philippe. If you are interested, it won't be enough. You have to be committed in order to get results. You're absolutely speaking my language 100%, Philippe. Like we can always say, you're either interested or you're committed. And this is how I test people in terms of whether they're actually committed to change, because I actually saw a quote today that I was just like, that is so spot on. I think it was from Grant Cardone, and it said something, I'm just going to butcher it now, but it said something along the lines of, don't give advice to people who don't want it, because all you do is create resentment. And so I've gotten to a point where my I used to give people exactly what they wanted, which was that validation for their victim story. I now can't do that. Now, with the work that I do, I can't even be there to feel like I have some sort of sense of validating them into a disempowering state. And now I don't want to waste my breath and my energy on somebody who doesn't want to change. I want to give my all to anybody who is absolutely committed to empowerment. And so it can be kind of tiring. So now I'm just thinking about, testing people to see whether they just want to, feel through their emotional experience and just express it. But over time, if that's going to go on and on and on, I definitely want to see if you're willing to let go of your victim story. And if you're not, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to waste my time, energy, or effort there. Like that quote from Grant Cardone I saw this morning, all you do is build resentment. And you feel resentment towards them, and they feel resentment towards you, because they're not doing what you're trying to help them with, and they don't want your advice, right? So you just kill that connection based on you maybe having good intention, but you're trying to help somebody who doesn't actually want to be helped. They might say it, but if they're not willing to let go of their victim story and be willing to be called out and actually take action towards a solution, you're not dealing with somebody who is absolutely committed. So save your breath, save your time, be there to support them in the way that they can, but don't go there if they don't want your support. Ask them, get clarity, but definitely when somebody is not willing to let go of their own victim story and they're not willing to take a look at themselves and take 100% responsibility, not blame, 100% responsibility for the way things are, that is an empowered place to be, and there you are helpable and you are willing to take the action to get the solution. So absolutely, Philippe and Karina and Ali. Oh, please raise the voice of refugees stuck in Indonesia. We are here for 5 years now. Wow. Ali, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not educated enough on what is actually going on in the refugee situation in Indonesia. So I'd love for you to send me some more information about that. I'd really be interested to hear, Ali, and I appreciate you being here, my friend. And Amit's here, and Dawn, I can't wait to see you soon as well. And Loon and Frank. Happy to see you again. Thank you. You are a great teacher from Colombia. Thank you so much, Frank. I really appreciate your kind words. And thank you so much for being here. I love it. From Colombia. That's so cool. And AJ, hey, you look beautiful. I can't stay long because I have an exam tomorrow, but after that, I'm all yours. Sending positive vibes to everyone. Thanks for being here, AJ, and for your kind words. And I love that you checked in, even though you're busy, and can't wait to see you join again. That's awesome. Much love to you, Philippe. That's awesome. So, guys, that really was my message for you. If you even can use this test on yourself. If you find yourself constantly saying you want to change this situation, but you feel really disempowered, you feel like it's up to somebody else, I would challenge you to work out and get clear with yourself and get honest with yourself about what is your victim story. You got one. If you can't get over it, you're staying stuck in your own victim story and you're trying to win. You're trying to have the greater victim story than the other person or people that you're in that conflict with, and get to a place where enough is enough. Believe in yourself enough that you can create something compelling, and you don't need them to validate you or change who they are in order for you to feel good. Take a stance for yourself and get empowered and look and take responsibility for you. That's all you'll ever be able to control. So don't waste your time and energy in any other direction, and be able to communicate and be the leader if you need to be. Paint that compelling future, communicate about it, and be the leader in that direction. And one other little comment here, Daryl. You have the ability in any moment, including right now, to shift your attention a little bit more towards those things that you appreciate. Jesse Elder. I love that. I still haven't checked out who Jesse Elder is, but I definitely will. And absolutely brilliant quote. Absolutely. I love how Tony Robbins says, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right, and we can always find what's helpful to us. That's why I'm always looking at the problems as the necessary challenges that are the stepping stones for us to grow, improve, and heading in that direction of our highest potential. So much love to you guys. As always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I really hope it's a beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary day. You're doing something empowering and fun, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Much love.